Education is extremely important. It's one of the primary needs besides the food, shelter, and clothing in modern life. Its significance can never be neglected. It acts as the catalyst which brings economic, social, cultural, as well as the technological changes in the society. But while the economy did appear to have boomed over the last 25 years, most growth has been only in urban areas where large multinational corporations such as IBM and Microsoft base their software development headquarters. With the divide between urban and rural life, the economic growth does not seem to remove the issues of extreme poverty. A study in 2002 also found that these conditions in India are partially due to educational poverty, which is defined as the deprivation of basic education and literacy. Children in India are usually divided into three categories. These are those who are attending school, those who are in full-time jobs, which is termed as child labor, and those who are not doing anything. These are termed as nowhere children. Now, for our primary resource for this team project, we went to an NGO to get to know more about the situation of kids who are unable to properly afford sufficient education.
क्या पढ़ते हो? जैसे मैथ्स पढ़ते हो, इंग्लिश पढ़ते हो, हिंदी पढ़ते हो, हिंदी पढ़ते हो, मैथ्स पढ़ते हो, दोनों पसंद है सब्जेक्ट?
यहाँ पे है 1 बजे से लेकर 3:30 बजे तक।
अच्छा ठीक है। और कौन कौन सब्जेक्ट पढ़ते हो? कितने सब्जेक्ट पढ़ते हो? क्या क्या पढ़ते हो?
हिंदी, इंग्लिश, मैथ।
हिंदी, इंग्लिश और मैथ्स। अच्छा, और आपको सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद कौन सा है? हिंदी।
In the previous video, we asked them what type of subjects they study, and we were told they only studied about 3 subjects, which are Hindi, Maths, and English, which is clearly not sufficient. We then were curious as to how their education would have been handled during COVID-19. So we did ask them about that as well.
ठीक है, तो आप जब कोविड-19 हुआ था, महामारी हुई थी, है ना, जब सब बाहर नहीं जा पा रहे थे, सबको मास्क पहनने पड़ रहे थे, सैनिटाइजर यूज़ करना पड़ रहा था, तो आपकी पढ़ाई कैसी थी उस टाइम?
उस टाइम
पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही थी, है ना, तो क्या?
The response to this was quite disheartening. During COVID-19, they did not study at all due to the lack of devices and also the lack of teachers who were willing to teach these kids online. Then, to better portray a comparison between those who can afford education in India and those who can't, we asked the same questions to our fellow student in Genesis Global School. And here is her response.
In a classroom, and I speak from personal experience when I say it's not as fun to be in an online classroom than it is to be in a physical classroom. However, I think that we were able to kind of break through our boundaries on the way that we study in a physical classroom. We were able to explore more resources, online resources, and just explore different ways of studying and not just stick to everything in class.
Our peer responded that she was able to connect and still continue her classes even in COVID-19 and was able to pass 8th grade and 9th with ease. Even during COVID-19, her learning did not stop. This is compared to the kids in the slums who were deprived of even the insufficient education they were getting. While our visit to the NGO, we also talked to their teacher to further investigate how many more limitations they face in their studies currently.
पढ़ाई का कब से?
1 बजे से लेके 3:30 बजे।
अच्छा, तो और ये जब आते हैं यहाँ पे, इनके रहने का कहाँ पे है?
ये पास में जीती उसमें रहते हैं।
अच्छा ठीक है। और ये कैसे है पढ़ाई में सब लोग?
इसमें से बच्चे कुछ बहुत अच्छे हैं, कुछ ठीक ठाक है, कुछ को आता नहीं।
हाँ, और जो कोरोना का टाइम हुआ था, हम सबको पता है, उसमें कैसे इनको फ़र्क पड़ा था कोरोना की वजह से?
कोरोना के टाइम में कुछ दिन ऑनलाइन क्लास हुआ, उसके बाद से फिर फिर आने लगे बच्चे।
तो 2 साल जो हुआ था वो थोड़ी बहुत बंद भी हो गई थी पढ़ाई,
दिक्कत हुई थी लोगों को।
और फिर वापस आके उन्होंने कैसे संभाला है पढ़ाई को?
फिर शुरू से लोग तैयार किया गया, जैसे पहले तैयार किया गया था, फिर शुरू से किया गया।
स्टार्टिंग वापस शुरू से? ठीक है। और कितने सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाते हैं, क्या क्या पढ़ते हैं?
ये लोग पढ़ते हैं हिंदी, मैथ, इंग्लिश, कंप्यूटर हफ्ते में 1 दिन पढ़ते हैं लोग, और ड्राइंग, डांस, संगीत ये सब पढ़ाया जाता है।
अच्छा, और यहाँ पे इनकी व्यवस्था कैसी है? यहाँ पे कैसे रहते हैं लोग, कैसे अपना सामान रखते हैं?
स्कूल में ये लोग अपना बैग रखते हैं लोग, इन लोगों के पास घर नहीं है कि अपना बैग रखें, बारिश आता है तो गीला होता है, पढ़ के यहीं अपना बैग रख के घर जाते हैं।
थैंक यू।
Even though it was evident that these children were lacking the most basic education, even while studying with organizations, India does offer a good education system to those who can afford it. Although India's literacy and education rates remain poor on a global scale, the recent achievements of the SSA are far greater than those previously undertaken, as the program was implemented throughout all districts of India. However, there is still more work to be done. A recent survey showed that half of the government schools in India have no teaching activity and low student progression rates. For the nation to truly eradicate extreme poverty, quality education must be promoted.